If you've ever struggled with transfer tape, too sticky, not sticky enough, ruining your projects, then this is the video for you. In today's video, I'm going to show you 6 different transfer tapes and we are going to test them. We're going to be using them with some StarCraft matte permanent HD vinyl, and then also we're going to use an opal color from Tech Wrap. That way we've got 2 different test vinyls and we're going to stick them to a couple of different surfaces so that we can see what transfer tape works best. Now, before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any fun, crafty content we have coming. I'll link everything that I'm using in this video down below if you want to check them out as well. I'll be sure to give you my final thoughts and share my favorite with you at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get started.
So let's talk about how we're going to rate each of our tapes. Now I'm going to do these out of 5 stars. We're going to rate on stickiness, meaning how sticky is the tape when I take it out. Ease of removal from its packaging, its backing, and all of that. Application will be how well it applies the vinyl to the blank. Cost of the product, because that is a very important factor. And then we're also going to talk about how much waste is left over when you're done using your tape. While these cut, let me just tell you how I'm going to format this. I'm going to do a white piece of metal with the 2 different types of vinyl that we're cutting using all of the different transfer tapes. While I'm doing those on the screen, it will be sped up. I'm going to give you kind of my thoughts on each of the vinyl products, and then what we'll do is give you our final ratings at the end. Now this one here is the Cricut Value. It's $10.99 for 12 by 15 feet. I did not love trying to get the backing off of this. It was really difficult, and I felt like the transfer tape was really thin, which made it hard to lay flat and also made it really hard to just get it without having a lot of bubbles in it. Was not my favorite. I apologize for that darkening. That was my camera. But I do think that it held the vinyl well and it released the vinyl pretty well. It just felt kind of cheap. Wasn't a fan. This one here is HTV Ront, $7.99 for 12 by 10 feet. And this one here, again, I didn't love the backing. You can see I struggled really hard. The backing on this one was truly awful. I do think that the transfer tape itself was okay. It was a bit thicker than the Cricut brand, which I liked and made it easier to lay my designs down. Now this one here is STYLETECH, $9.75 for 12 inches by 30. This one, I like how thick the tape itself is. There is no backing, which means less waste. And I like how easily it does release. Now, this is the one I use all the time, so this is kind of my control. This is how I'm used to transfer tape working and feeling, and I wanted to be sure to keep it in so that it was a good comparison product. I do think it's a great product, though. Now, this one here is this off-brand YRYM. It was the best seller on Amazon at $13.59 for 12 inches by 50 feet. This, honestly, is the exact same tape as the HTV Ront tape. So it's exactly the same, but it's a better price, but it was literally the exact same tape. So I felt the same way about it as I felt about the HTV Ront. It felt a little bit thin. The backing was kind of hard to get off, but it is a really good price. So if you're looking for like a really well-priced, decent transfer tape, this one's pretty good. It worked really well with both types of the vinyl, and I really did enjoy working with it other than the backing. This one here is Frisco Craft at $16.99 for a 12-inch by 50-foot roll. This one's a little bit thicker than STYLETECH and a little less opaque, though it's a little hard to see in this video. I think that it's just not quite as clear, but that's fine. I did a good job. It held the vinyl. It took the vinyl off of the transfer tape well, and no backing. For the price, I think it's pretty good. Now this one here is Tech Wrap, and this one is $15.90 for a 12-inch by 20-foot roll. This one, again, has backing, which is not my favorite, but I also felt like it was pretty thin and it ripped really easily in half when I was removing it from the vinyl, and it did this a couple of times, so I was not really impressed with it. I think if it were a little bit thicker, it would have been a better quality product. Now, I also want to try putting this on plastic, and for some reason, my camera didn't record the Cricut on the black mat, but you can see that it did really well with the plastic. This is the HTV Ront, and it was awful. Truly terrible with the matte vinyl. It was such a pain to work with. And again, you can see me struggling to get that backing off. Now with the holographic, it did a really good job. It stuck no problem to this plastic, and this plastic's not easy to get to stick. This is STYLETECH, which again, you'll see didn't stick fully, but I got it, no problem. And again, the holographic really worked well, so I think just the holographic is better on plastic. This is the off-brand that is literally HTV Raw, and you can see I have the same problem where the vinyl does not want to stay on the plastic at all, so I really had to struggle. Again, with the darn backing, I hated it, but you can see again that HTV Raw is the same as that other one. This is the Frisco Craft, which again, the plastic and the vinyl didn't really want to stick together so well, and I really think the Cricut outperformed everybody when it came to the plastic. And I'm just not quite sure why, other than it's just not quite as sticky as the others. Tech Wrap did a pretty good job, but again, it was a little bit of a struggle to really get that black to stick. But the holographic, you'll see sticks absolutely no problem. I wanted to compare them on 2 different surfaces for you so you could really get a good idea of the difference. Now, here's our breakdown. So with the Cricut, the stickiness of it, I'm going to say it was about a 3. Now, these are all touted as medium tack. Now, ease of use, I only gave it 2 stars because I hated trying to take the backing off and it felt really thin. But application-wise, I think it was okay. I don't think it was bad. But the cost of this one is pretty high at 73 cents a square foot. So I gave it a 2.5 as far as price. Now, amount of waste product I had left over, 2 stars, had quite a bit of trash to throw away at the end. The next one here that we're going to look at is the HTV Ront brand or Ront. The stickiness of this one, again, touted as a medium. I think that it was a really decent stick and tack. Ease of use, I gave it 1.5 stars because I just felt like it was really hard to work with. Application-wise, though, I think it did a pretty good job once you kind of got past getting the backing off. Now, this cost of this one is 80 cents a square foot, which is really expensive. So you only get 1 star for that. And as for waste of all the stuff I had to throw away, 1.5 stars. We threw away a ton of stuff, which I just didn't love. The next one here is STYLETECH, which is my usual brand. Stickiness, again, touted as a medium tack, and I think that the tack on this one is excellent for most vinyl. Ease of use on this one, I gave it 4 stars, even though you see 2 pop up, but ease of use on it's great. There's no backing to take off. Application on it is very, very easy on most products. The cost of this one is only 33 cents a square foot. So again, this one's going to get 4 stars. And as for waste on this one, you don't have a ton of waste. So I gave that one 4 stars as well. You're only throwing away the tape and you can reuse this tape over and over again. Now, the off-brand, which is really just HTV Ront, it's going to have the same exact star rating because it's the exact same tape. There is no difference in the tape. So everything here is really identical. However, when we get to cost, look at the difference here. This one is only 27 cents a square foot versus 80 cents. So if you like the HTV Ront, get this one instead. It's identical for way less, but it does still have like a lot of waste, which we just don't love here. Now, Frisco Craft. This one, again, a medium tack, and I thought the stickiness was pretty good, but not as good as STYLETECH. And I think the ease of use with this, again, really good. I would put it on that same level as STYLETECH since we don't have a backing. Applying it, I give it 3.5 stars just because I had a few little issues with the plastic. This is only 34 cents a square foot, so it gets a pretty good rating on that. And waste-wise, doesn't have a ton to throw out, and I know you can reuse this one over and over again, so you're not going to have a lot to toss out, and you can reuse those pieces. Now, Tech Wrap. This one here, stickiness-wise, it was okay. It was not my favorite, but it was okay. For the ease of use, only 2 stars because it was awful to get the backing off. Now, application-wise, I think it was fine. It was an okay product. As far as cost, though, again, 80 cents per square foot, you get 1 star. And as for waste, this has a lot to throw away, so you're only getting 1 star as far as waste product is concerned. So who's going to come out on top? Personally, I feel like Frisco Craft and STYLETECH are going to be your best bet as far as ease of use, stickiness, and all of that, plus cost. But if you want something that's going to cost you the least, the random off-brand, that's the way to go at 27 cents a square foot. Now, I'm going to link everything that I used down below for you in case you want to grab any of these. They are all, I think, fine, but I do think you want to think about cost and ease of use. Would I use some of them again? Probably not going to use Cricut again. Probably not going to use the HTV Ront or the off-brand again, but Tech Wrap, Frisco Craft, and STYLETECH I will probably use again. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.